All right, in studio right now is the councilman, Joe Marino, who's suggesting that there should be some new job requirements for the comptroller position in the city of Utica. And that would be that you'd want them to have 10 years experience as an accountant. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, we would talk about the qualifications, but at least, a minimum of an accounting degree.
Would it no longer be an elected position?
Well, ideally, and that's what we're working out, and that's why it hasn't gone through yet. Ideally, it would be an elected position with qualifications if that's legally possible. I'm not sure that it is.
All right. Bill Morehouse is the current comptroller, who is not an accountant, who's on the line. Good morning, Bill. Thanks for. I think you're out of town right now, right, Bill?
Good morning. Yes.
Good morning. Well, obviously, you know what we're talking about, and what are your thoughts on Mr. Marino's suggestion here this morning?
Well, as a councilman, he has the right to bring anything forward he feels is valid for the people. I mean, I think if you're going to talk about qualifications, you can look at a lot of elected positions from the President of the United States on down. I don't think that a lot of elected sheriffs, things like that, have a lot of qualifications that are attached to them. An elected official is a person who oversees the operation and puts the right people in place and hires the right people to do the job. And that's how I saw my position as I was elected. And definitely if you want to, hire a CPA or something along those lines, that should be done by the council and the mayor and take this out of the elected position. If you want to put on a referendum $150,000 salary for a CPA and nobody shows up but Larry the CPA from down the road, who maybe doesn't have a job because he's Larry the CPA, and that's what you end up with. I mean, that's a possibility. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I'm not calling in to get into a debate with Mr. Marino, but I would think before you would go forward with something like this, you would come into my office, talk to my people, talk to me, see how the operation is going, see what my thoughts are, but I haven't seen Joe Marino in my office in 2.5 years, so. But that's up to him how he goes after these things as a councilman. So. You
want to respond to that?
The fact that I haven't been in his office, we've asked for information from his office. We've been told that we can walk in there, look at it, and walk away. I'm not. My job isn't to sit there for 5 hours and stare at a bank statement and hope I remember everything. So I really have no time to go in that office and do that. However, the fact remains is,
hold on, Bill.
I think
no, you can talk.
I think people know that. Mr. Marino and I don't see eye to eye on a few things, and we might have some personal animosity between us. And that's why I don't want to get into any type of a discussion along these lines. Okay. I just think, from my standpoint, if you're going to hire a CPA, you do that and you hire somebody.
He's not necessarily saying it.
You elect the officials.
I see what you're saying.
You can't start putting qualifications on elected officials. So now we're going to have our councilmen have to have a high school degree with at least a 3.0 average, and
that wouldn't be a bad idea, but that's not the point here.
We're going to lose, the council by taking away the health insurance. We've already lost the ability to get some quality people in those council positions
because we've already
right away, lowered the salary of those positions, which I thought was a mistake. You want good people, qualified people to run for these positions, and if you start taking away the benefits that they can maybe have by running for these positions, you're going to lesser the quality.
All right. I don't think the councilman is saying that it should be a CPA per se. You're saying somebody with an accounting degree.
Yeah, listen, the position with the qualifications will be completely inclusive. I'm not, stating one title or another should be there. And again, to go back to the fact that I haven't been in that office, my job as a councilman isn't to oversee that office. My job is to read the audit when I get it, and that audit is to oversee that office. And those audits in the past, and not just under Comptroller Morehouse, but in the past, have been scathing, including this one. And for that, I think that the people deserve a choice to whether or not they believe that office should have qualifications. If they believe that it shouldn't,
hold on, Bill.
If they believe that it shouldn't have qualifications, then I'm more than willing to accept that. That question hasn't been asked of the people.
Hold on,
and that's
Bill,
all I'd like to do is ask them.
For 1 second. Okay, go ahead, Bill.
The debate, the audit with Mr. Marino, because he attacked the audit for 2 hours when the auditors were in there.
He wouldn't know. He
did that solely and for the purpose of trying to degrade the office.
The comptroller of the city of Utica wasn't in the audit when we were going through it, so he wouldn't know what I did for 2 hours.
And his agenda is to be mayor down the line, and his agenda is to attack this administration for 4 years and to try to degrade us. And it's a shame that that's the attitude he has.
I'm going to ask you.
I just have two quick questions. One, Mr. Morehouse, I actually thought I remembered you proposing something like this when you were running for office, that the comptroller would have some type of a qualification. Why are you so opposed to it now?
No, I'm not. A qualification, but if you're going to do that, you hire the person. You
Okay.
don't put qualifications on an elected
And you know
position.
what? I
If
think you
wanna
said
take
that
the
before, too.
controller's
And that's
job
being
out of the
discussed, and that's
elected
exactly
position,
my proposal. If it
and
could
then
be
hire
elected,
it,
great.
okay.
If it
then that's
can't, then we'll go
fine.
forward.
Okay.
But don't try to put qualifications on an elected position. That's just silly, and that
Okay.
appeared to
All right.
be what Mr. Marino was presenting.
All right,
And
so-
I think that's not the route to take.
Right.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
one other question. As it relates to your actual job, it was said here this morning that you oversee the department. Who actually does the book? So when we talk about an audit, is it an accounting error you made or that your staff made, and do they have certification? Do they have any requirements to work
Well,
in the
the
controller's
last
office?
audit, there was no accounting errors made. So if you want to be specific, I could probably figure out which one of my accounting staff was involved in that. But, I have an accounting staff who, along with myself overseeing it, handles the money for the checkbook, the people's checkbook of the city of Utica. And we do it with enthusiasm, and that's what I brought to this office, an enthusiasm, a love of coming to work every morning and being part of that office. We have a great relationship with the second floor now. The mayor's office and the comptroller have always not been on the same page, and that has created problems in the city. We've alleviated that. We've moved this city forward, and we're moving forward fast. And we want everybody to be on board. We want the council people to be on board. We want the citizens to be on board. The city of Utica is moving forward, and I'm excited to be part of it.
All right, Jill.
Yeah, I agree with almost everything he said. The city of Utica is moving forward, and the missing piece that we have is a certified financial accountant in that office.
Who does the work, though? Can you answer that better? Who
I
does the work?
No, I can't answer it particularly because I don't run that office. I mean, look, for me to say that, the elected position is to be a manager of that office, I think is irresponsible. I think that the person that should be in there should be. How could you oversee the work if you don't know what the work is that's brought to your desk?
Well,
and again,
I've
it
been
has
a
nothing to do
businessman
with
for 35
Bill
years,
Morehouse,
Joe, and I've learned a lot. I'm
particularly,
not a-
and the
not a
fact that he
youngster
has
out
a
there in the
personal
weeds,
problem
but
with me that
I
he
have
stated
that-
on
I
the
got
air.
you
That's
both talking
wonderful.
at the
But
same
I
time
have
here.
no issue with
feel like
personalities
I'm back
or
on the View.
right. Look, I can't even answer. to the point that he has a personal issue or thinks I want to run for another office. That's not my concern here. My concern here
Okay,
is
all
to
right,
make
guys.
sure.
I'm losing complete control here.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly, Marino, give me your answer, and then we'll get back to Mr. Morehouse.
Like I said, I mean, this is not personal. I don't take anything. I don't take any aspirations with me to this table and say that we need to bring a financial planner or a financial analyst to the office. I bring the fact
You're
that
just
the
saying it makes
people have
sense.
to decide
Okay.
whether or not that makes sense to them. It is the people's decision. This is a referendum item. So if it's elected, I think that that's most responsible, because the people still get to decide. And if it's not, then I think the mayor could appoint and the council could approve, a la the president with a Supreme Court nomination, which I think is fine too. But those are things that will be decided among the people, not me,
Okay.
not
All right.
Comptroller
To
Morehouse.
the question of an election with qualifications, and I know this isn't the case in Oneida County anymore. We don't have a coroner anymore. It's handled outside. But don't you need, I could be wrong here, but don't you need requirements to be the coroner or the
No, I
whatever?
don't think so.
You don't?
I don't
Well, the
think so.
coroner is appointed now by
Right, it's changed.
by the board.
But it used to
Right.
be an elected position, I
It
believe,
used to be
right?
an elected, and that was the problem. I mean, the problem was you get someone that isn't really qualified to be
Okay.
there.
Right, there
You
were.
know, and they
If I
changed it.
remember, there were.
But
there
those
were,
things, believe me when I tell you,
Yeah.
those things are all being considered in this proposal. I mean, you could say that I've heard that the mayor needs to be qualified. I don't think that's the case. I think the mayor can be an effective manager by having outside experience. I mean, how do you become, how do you get mayoral experience? I mean,
Do
unless
you,
you're a mayor
let me
before.
let me ask.
I think the mayor's doing a wonderful job with the experience that he's had.
I'll let Bill. I'll let you get the final word here, but I do want to ask you: on your staff, are there accountants? There must be accountants on the staff at the within the comptroller's office.
Yes, I have an accounting staff from Dave Barron to Diana Corey to Brian McCluskey, who does an excellent job on the tax side. I have a deputy comptroller with 8 years' experience as comptroller, which is better than any experience you can get.
You did say he was going to be.
in getting an education.
Yeah.
So I have an accounting staff, and I have senior people who know accounting inside out. I'm very fortunate, and the city of Utica is very fortunate for the staff I have, because I am short-staffed. I do need more people. I'm going to be asking the council for another accountant here in the budget year, but we're doing a great job with what we have. And You know,
Right.
this city is moving forward. It's such an exciting time to be part of the city of Utica. And we are moving forward, and everybody is on board. And I encourage the people who aren't to get on board, because this city is going places, and we do that by working together. With if we have issues, if we have discussions, we have those together, and then move the city forward as a group.
So you're saying you're
excited, and I'm excited.
Yeah, your gripe would be that that Joe Marino didn't come to you. He's on the radio talking about it.
Yeah, but that's not true either. I came to him. He was fully on board with this proposal before he became comptroller. I don't tell tales out of school.
Right.
I don't go behind anyone's back. I'm not afraid to say anything that I've said,
Joe.
whether it be on the radio or in person. And I've said
Hold
this
on,
to
just
Bill
let him
Morehouse
finish,
in
then you can go,
particular.
Bill.
I've talked to people in his staff. I've talked to everyone. I don't do these things as a grandstanding gesture, whether or not anyone wants to claim that I have or not.
Yeah.
But if Bill's saying that I haven't talked to him about this issue and he didn't agree with me 2.5 years ago, he's lying.
All right, Bill, give you the final word.
Joe, Joe, this sounds like Joe he should be a Republican. He sounds like a Republican right now. This guy's lying, that guy's lying. If he's saying he's lying,
Bill, if
Joe,
you can claim that I haven't brought you this issue and you didn't
Hold on,
agree,
let him finish.
Sure.
The ship. Let me just leave you with this. The Utica City ship is moving forward. We're moving up and away. And Joe Marino.
Yeah, and you're
can get
welcome
on
for me
board
being
or
on it.
jump over.
Okay. All right, gentlemen,
All
we're
right,
going to leave it
have a
to
good
this. Thank you, Bill Morehouse and Joe Marino. And one of the things I was going to bring up he has had a change of heart on Mike Sermonaro, because Mike Sermonaro was somebody that when Bill Morehouse was running, he did say he would be replacing that deputy position with somebody who was an accountant. He did say that when he ran.
Bill, I have no
but he's had
problem
a
with
change
this.
of heart on Mike Sermonaro.
I have no problem with his staff. I have no problem with Bill Morehouse. He is the least of my concerns as a person. The fact is, I just like that position to have qualifications so we don't run into the same problems we've consistently run into. If me asking the people that creates some animosity with politicians, I'm way okay with that. I have no problem with politicians not liking something that I've done. I want to ask the people what they think.
All right. Okay. Joe Marino, thanks.
Thanks, guys.